slice, glue, paint, enjoy.
There we go. Hello, Stu here with 4th week's update on the Tale of Two Painters. I don't think I've done very well at all this week. I knew Craig wasn't doing much this week because he had to go see family, so I've not done very much either. I've managed to get a Hive Tyrant done and 1 Venom Rope done. I pretty much was just carrying on from where I was with the Venom Rope. What are you throwing? Oh, sorry, my dog's throwing crap on the floor. I've also finished off the scenery, well, the buildings, the rhinos and the Land Raiders still needs work doing to them, but they'll do for now. They won't look awful on a battlefield, which is what I wanted. The rhino needs painting up more. The Land Raider would just about pass as okay at the minute, I think. Yeah, the rhinos at the minute still got like the purple and blue spots to them. The buildings, I'm well impressed with, really like how they are. Hive Tyrant and Venom Throat, really impressed with how they look. I'm sorry, my dog's stealing more stuff from over there. Smudge! Yeah, let him rob stuff. Yeah, so I've been tinkering with my army at the minute. I keep debating putting other bits into the 1200 points or making the 1850 point list slightly different. But I'll show you what I've been up to past week. Leave a bit of a critique of it if you want, because I'm not particularly happy with how the buildings have ended up completely. I'm going to end up adding some like dry moss to it or something, I think, but I'm just trying to figure out how you glue it on properly. I think what I've basically got to do is soak it in PVA glue and then just plonk it and then just leave it for a few days to glue. I'm hoping that is the best way of going about doing it. But it's just getting it soaked right and into small enough pieces, because I've tried with one of the buildings. This one here, so you can see it's on the inside of it. I'm not even sure if you can see that on the camera. Oh, it's glued down and stuff, but it's still really flingy. Moves about really easily, and I'm not sure if that's a good thing or not. Let's put you down again before I drop you. So I think at the minute I might have to chop bits up and tear up into small little bits so it's less flingable, if you will. Because at the minute it feels a little bit too soft, a little bit too terrible. But yeah, everything looks alright, I think. The last bit of flock only turned up today, so I've been like, quickly get it finished. But no, I think it looks alright. Beforehand it was way too green, but now I think it's toned it down and looks pretty decent. But yeah, onto the show of what models I've actually painted. Right, this is what my hobby looks like this week. I apologise again for the roses underneath everything. I'm actually filming in Laura's consultation room, so I've got a fair bit of her flowery stuff as this is the world I live in every day. I've also managed to get myself 2 giant lights, which we're going to start using for battle reports now that the scenery's finished. I've also got a dog being a pain in the arse, nicking everything. So yeah, I've got the 4 vehicles completely finished up. The rhinos need the work to them, but I'm happy enough with how they look. I think they'll look alright on the battlefield for the time being. The Land Raiders need a top up as well. I kind of think I prefer the dark, dirty look with the Modernite compared to the green here, because that's 14-year-old paint. And I think it just needs a bit of a tidy up. Yeah, so this is how the buildings have ended up. When the flock originally turned up, it was a bright green. Well, not bright green, it's that dark green undertone. And I was a little bit like, oh, shit. I managed to find some orangey, wood chippy sort of colour one that I had in the house, which I mixed in. But it was really light or really heavy, I'm not sure which. Oh, it felt really light, but somehow it ended up really heavy. And it just got to the bottom of all the mix and just appeared to just get laid onto everything straight away. So some of the things ended up with really heavy coat of yellowy look, and then some ended up with a really heavy coat of green, which didn't look very consistent. So I've ended up coating them with this extra layer of like a mucky greeny brown colour, which I think looks quite nice. I think it now looks like a bit of a living moss field that's died off a fair bit as well. But yeah, so there's 11 pieces of big terrain. Some of them have got blast markers like there, shows off better than there. And as I said before, I'm going to put the moss in there eventually as well, which I think kind of blends in quite nicely. but that's a job for another day. But yeah, so they're all finished for now. They look alright. They will do. Yeah, so yeah, I think they all look alright. And the other bit of my hobby this week has been Mr. Venom Rope and Mr. Hive Tyrant. Really impressed with how these turned out. When I was painting them, I wanted to just not carry on painting anything because they were doing my head in. I absolutely hated painting the wings on the Hive Tyrant. I did them in Cadian Flesh Tone first and then did Seraphim Sepia, and it just went bright orange. Didn't work. So redid it, Cadian Flesh Tone with Agrax, and then dry brushed it with Witch Tone Flesh, which has worked pretty well. For the outside to the inside coat. Oh, that's making me go dizzy, so it must be good. I think it looks quite well. The feathering, I think, has gone fairly well. I'm debating in the future to do one extra layer over the top, but I'm not going to do that today. That'll be a job for another day once everything else is finished off. I did the arms with the Seraphim Sepia as well, and I don't think I quite like it, but it looks alright for now. It will do. I will endeavour with it. So yeah, bit of a beast. I just even get a bit of a better, there we go, a bit of a better angle there. Yeah, I think it looks alright. His base has turned out alright. I might add a bit more terrain to it one day, a bit of like cinnamon stick or something like that maybe, and see how that looks. And then the Venom Throat, again, I'm not 100% happy with him. I think he needs something else added in. The brainy bit isn't as brainy and as icky as I wanted it to be. Yes, there's bits that I think need to be better. I don't know why, but I'm not fond of the flesh. I think because he's kind of snaky looking, he should look a bit more glossy maybe. Oh, I need to do the eyes as well. That's no good, is it? But yeah, again, feathering on the back. I didn't really explain, did I? I've explained on the previous video, which managed to delete itself halfway through because my battery ran out. So the feathering on the back's been done by doing Zandari dust, then washing over it with, it doesn't show very well there, but Zandari dust, washing it with Agrax, and then highlighting over it again with Zandari dust. But as I said a minute ago, I think it does need another layer further down. But on places like focus, on there I think it actually works quite well. But yeah, so these two scribblies done this week. Go on, focus, damn you. Ooh, that wasn't good. Yeah, so these two done this week. I have no excuse now not to get the rest of the army done. I probably should focus on getting the 30 gaunts done. And then at least I've got, what, 600 points? No, not even that. Oh, Christ. Yeah, the 30 gaunts are 120 points a unit, because they're 4 points a model. So that is only, what, he's 230. Yeah, he costs nearly as much as 60 gaunts. So yeah, 60 gaunts, and him is 500 points, call it, and then he's another 45. So I will nearly be at halfway point, and then it's just one more Venom Throat, two Zone Throats, and then two. Why can I never remember the names? Tervigons. That's it. Two Tervigons. So it's and a bloody and a bloody I can't remember the name of them. What they're called? Carnifex. Carnifex. That's the one. Yeah, Carnifex is last then. But it shouldn't be too bad. I think everything should work out well. But yeah. So yeah, that's my hobby this week. Yeah, so bye for now. Like and subscribe, and you can give us a comment, because I like kind of leading on comments against Craig. It makes me feel better about myself. Right, see you in a bit, guys. Bye.